live. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm here with Ashley for our discussion on Station 11.
Mine was a library book. I had to give it back, but
Wow, you don't
it was
have
the
it?
exact
Was it the same
no, it was the
cover?
exact same one as
Okay.
you do.
I literally took off the dust jacket for the whole time I was reading it, but I put it back on.
Yeah, because you were in Edinburgh and I thought it was the Bible.
I remember. That was so funny.
I was like, is
Oh
that
my
the
god.
Bible? And you were like, no, it's my book. And I was like, oh,
Oh
that
my
makes
god.
sense.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I suppose like there's just when you take the dust jacket off, hold on. I mean, it is just literally white, so but it does say Station 11 on it. Oh, that was very funny. So, what did you rate the book?
I gave it 3.
Me too.
Oh, I love the fact they were very on the same level with books. Like,
We are.
usually
I
if
feel
you
like
like
we
a book,
mostly give it the same. Yeah.
yeah, usually if you like a book, I know I'll like a book. Like if you're like,
Yeah.
I don't like this book, I'm probably like, I don't feel like I might like this book. We're
I
very,
know. I
very
really
similar.
thought I thought I'd like this a lot more. Like I feel like most people who like have read it gave it like 4 or 5 stars. So I was really, really expecting it to be a 5-star. But like it just didn't wow me. Like it was enjoyable, but I was like I wasn't like, oh my god, that was so good. It was just like, yeah, it was fine. It was okay.
Yeah, I'm the exact same because I saw people saying it was like their favorite book, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this will be
How?
great. And then I'm like, wow, okay, it's not my favorite book. It's not.
No,
I
it's not
thought it was okay.
even close.
Um,
Yeah.
I, I'm the same as you. It just didn't wow me, but I didn't
Yeah.
really care for the past part of it. So like when we're just kind of
Yeah.
discovering the characters, like their background, how they're kind of essentially connected, I just didn't
Yeah.
care. And then when it
Yeah.
was like after the flu had happened and when everything's kind of happening, I did care. So it was kind of
Yeah.
in the middle. So I was kind of stuck
Yeah.
between a 3 and a 4 stars for a while, just because I feel like the future side of it was a 4 stars for me. And then the other
Okay.
part was a 3 stars for me. So,
Yeah. That's fair.
but it just kind of ended up being a 3 stars just based on the ending. I just expected a sort of better ending. I
Yeah,
feel
the
like the
ending
ending
was
left it on a
pretty.
cliffhanger, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, it definitely did. Like I was like, why is this a standalone? I want to see what happens next. I want them to like go to the town with the electricity. I want to see what happens. And yeah, we're just not ever gonna know.
Yeah,
Like
because that,
I
that's
haven't
what I
watched the
was
TV
wondering.
show
That's
yet,
why I was
but
so
yeah.
I was just gonna say that's what made me rate it down a bit was because it left it on that part with all the electricity being on in like a town.
Yeah.
And then it didn't do anything with it. And I was like, what was the point
I
of telling
know.
us that if you're not going to do anything with it? So
Like
I
it was a
felt really
really good
disappointed
plot
in that,
twist.
which made me rate it down to
Me
a
too.
3.
Yeah, like it was a really good plot twist when Kirsten saw the town. I was like, oh my god, there's actually a town with electricity. That's so cool. And then there was no point to it at all. I was like, why? Like we need a sequel or we need something like an epilogue. An epilogue even would have saved it. I think. Like the fact that there was no epilogue was really surprising. I thought they would have done like I don't know a year later or a few months later or something like that. Just something to end it. Like it just ended so quickly.
I would have actually really liked that, to be honest, if it had just that tiny bit at the
Yeah,
end, just kind of wrap it up a little bit.
definitely.
Um,
Yeah.
but I also feel like it was kind of predictable. Like the
Okay.
person who was the person
The prophet.
that narrows it down. Yeah, him. I'm like the person did. The prophet, I feel like we learned who he was really, really early. And like there's kind of no surprise there with who he actually was. I feel like it was very predictable of
Yeah.
that. I feel like if that had a nice twist, that would have come
Mm.
across just a bit better. And it would have been like, okay, a bit more shocking. Because it just seemed like, okay, but okay. Because it seemed that way. And we found out like the past part so early on with that character and understood essentially what was happening there. And then we
Yeah.
saw the prophet. And it just 2 and 2 makes 4. Like,
Exactly.
it just was very just given to you, in my opinion.
Yeah, it could have been done a lot more shocking because it wasn't like an interesting plot. It was just, yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't done as well as it could have, unfortunately.
I am wondering if the show would maybe make it a bit more gripping in terms of if they do that, or even just the ending, whether they would have made it a bit more of a satisfactory
Yeah.
ending. Just kind
Yeah,
of
I
wrap
haven't
things
heard a
up.
single thing. Literally, I haven't heard anything at all about the TV show. Like, literally nothing. So I kind of like
Same.
that. I want to go into it and just see, like, I want to compare them now and see if they completely stuck to the book or if they've changed anything. Like, with this case, I don't mind if they've changed anything. Well, depending on what it is. But I think,
Yeah.
there could be some interesting things they could have changed. So, especially the ending. Like, I really want to see if they end it the same.
Yeah, I
I
just
don't
feel
even
like
know
the
who's cast in it.
ending.
I know nothing.
I just feel like the ending was very let down. Like,
Yeah.
it was really satisfactory because if anyone's not read the book, we went into spoilers very quickly, but we're sorry. Um, but I love the fact we've not even done the rest of the book. We're like straight to the ending. But
I know.
but I think because through the whole book, we're essentially trying to find their friends. Is
Yeah.
it Charlie and somebody?
Charlie
I
and
don't know.
Jeremy.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I read this at like the start of the month. I'm like, I can't
Yeah,
remember
you
nobody's name.
read this a long time ago.
I think I finished it exactly a month ago. So I'm like,
That's
what
crazy. I
happened
finished
again?
it like 2 days ago. Or yesterday. It might have
So
been yesterday. I don't even remember.
so the whole way we're trying to find Jeremy and Charlie. And so
Mm.
I mean they do find them at the end, and that was satisfactory. And
Yeah,
it was like, okay, well,
that
we had
was
that
good.
reunion. And I did like that. And then they just added the bit about the electricity, and I'm like, but
Yeah.
why? Like, you could have just had it very easily as they found their friends, a nice wrap up.
Yeah.
I would have just been far happier with that rather than adding it just a tiny bit more that just led to nowhere. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like it was
Literally.
meant to show that civilization was kind of getting back on track. But
Yeah.
I just was like, but what's happening over there?
Yeah, I want to know. Give me more
Do you think it's
information.
just that guy cycling his bike? He's like, just get everybody involved and we can do a village. Like, he was trying to power up the internet. I
Yeah.
remember that 'cause he was like trying to get the Wi-Fi, and you're like, "What's the Wi-Fi?" And I'm like, "Oh, an easier world." That's what it was.
Yeah. Can you imagine if our pandemic was like that? Like if we literally lost everything? Like it just makes like this book made our pandemic look so like small in comparison. Like just they literally have lost everything. Like I can't even imagine living in that world. Like it's just crazy.
I I actually really liked the difference in the pandemics. So like, I was just like very boring, but for me, nothing changed because
Yeah.
I worked from home anyway. So
Yeah.
my life
Oh
is
yeah.
exactly like it is now: work, walk the dog, sleep, game, watch movies, read. That's essentially all I do. So my life didn't really change. Whereas obviously it would have if it was in Station 11, because I'd probably be one of the ones who are
Yeah.
dead. I'm not saying that to be horrible, but I mean 99% of the population died, so I'm
Yeah.
most likely going to be in that time. I'm going to most likely be in that group. Um, but I did kind of like the way they kind of done it with like trying to isolate themselves as well.
Yeah.
So like they were like in the flat and stuff, and they're like properly trying to lock themselves in. And I found it kind of sweet with his brother. It sounds horrible, but I thought it was kind of sweet that his brother killed himself.
Okay.
Mm. No, because his brother knew that like he wouldn't that his brother wouldn't have left, and he would have stayed there, and he would have probably starved and everything. He was like, no, you need to actually get out of
Yeah.
here, like you need to properly go.
That was a really
And he knew the
sad
only
moment
way,
actually.
yeah, and he knew the only way to do that was to get his brother away from him and to make it so
Yeah.
he couldn't come back and just stay with his brother. So I,
Yeah.
even though it's a horrible thought, I thought it was kind of sweet of the brother to be like, you know what, I'm sacrificing myself so that you have the best
So you
chance
can
to
say
survive.
survive. That's
Yeah.
true. Like, yeah. Oh, that was a really bittersweet moment. Like there, oh, that was really really sad.
I love the fact that he got like what was it, 14 trolleys worth of food and stuff. It was just like right now. I was like, that is relatable for when we had our pandemic because literally everyone was buying everything.
Yeah, that was crazy. I can't even remember what happened to that character. That was Jeevan, wasn't it? I can't even remember
Um,
how what happened to him in the end. Like, because he definitely wasn't in the last chapter. I don't think. I don't even remember what happened to him the last time we saw him.
was he not
I
one of the
think he was
cast
married.
members?
No, he was. Wait, now I'm getting them mixed up. I'm getting Jeevan and Clark mixed up. But wait, there's just too many characters.
Yeah,
Jeevan was the one who saved or was trying to save Arthur in the beginning, the one who's in the audience and then jumped up on
yeah.
stage. Yeah, that
So it
was
was the
his
same guy.
same guy. Yeah, but I don't remember what happened with him. He kind of disappeared for a while, I think. I don't
I thought he was one of the
remember.
cast members.
I didn't
I
think
thought he was
so.
like the older one. Like there's the young lassie who's like, sorry, girl. Wait, I just went Scottish there. There was the
Yeah.
young girl. Try it again. There's a young girl who was like at the stage, and then she obviously found her way back to the actual cast. But there was an older guy
Hmm.
there as well, and I thought that's who the person was.
I don't
Or is he the
remember.
one who was trying to save the person when they got really badly injured? Who was like on a farm?
Oh my god, I don't know. I
As you
feel like
can
because
tell,
the
we can't
time jumps
really
and
remember
everything, it's so
characters.
yeah, but like I feel like that's because all the time jumps were just so confusing. That's why I'm getting all the characters mixed up because it was just like past, present, past, present. I was like, oh my god, there's too much going on. Like I need it to slow down a bit. Like this is too much. I've come to the conclusion that I hate books with time jumps. Like it's not for me. I didn't like it in The Witcher either. Like I'm just not a fan of time jumps.
I don't mind time jumps as long as they're done well. So, like,
Okay.
if it's like the same two time zones, so you've got one that's
Hmm.
like 10 years ago, one now, but it's very much the same characters, told by the same perspective. You
Mm.
understand essentially what's happening. I like it. But this, it just seemed to
Yeah.
change the character so often as well that I just felt a
Yeah.
bit confused. Whereas I feel like if
Yeah.
they at least, I feel like even if they wrote at the top, because they didn't do it, but they could have just been like Charlie or whoever it is
Yeah.
at the top, and so we can kind
Yeah.
of break it down and be like, okay, so this is who we're
That would have
following.
made it so much easier. Yeah.
And it would have
I
been a
didn't
lot
even
better, in
think
my
of that, but
opinion,
that would
just to kind
literally
of
have
be
made
able
it
to
so much
follow.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always feel like that. Whenever it's like loads of perspectives, I always feel like it's easier to tell what's happening if you've got a clear indication of who's actually
Exactly. And it's so easy to
doing
do.
stuff.
Like literally just put a name at the top. It's not that difficult and it would save us like so much trouble.
Also, I don't think the book ever told you it was going back to the past, did it? It just kind of done it.
No, it didn't. It just did it. And it was like, oh, you just kind of have to figure it out that was back in the past. And it was just I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like the way it was jumping all the time.
I would have rather, if they never done characters, I would have preferred if they went like 10 years ago and then this is essentially what happened. And then next time it'd be like 5 years ago and you can be like, okay, so
Yeah.
we can understand where the actual time jumps are kind of happening and it's like coming to like
Yeah.
towards now. I would have much preferred
Exactly.
that because I was like, "What?" So I did like the comic books, the
Yeah,
Station
I
11 actual
actually
comic book was
wanted.
an actual book.
Yeah, like the whole book is called Station 11, and I feel like there was barely enough mention on the comics. Like I wanted to know more, but the anytime it was mentioned, I was like, oh, this is actually really interesting. But I want to know more. I want to read these comics.
So I think it would have been really good. And I kind of like the fact that it was told from the wife's kind of perspective of like just what's
Yeah,
happening all the way through her life. And I kind of like
yeah,
that. She was like, no, this is exactly what it is that's happening. It's just here's it in comic book form. So it's kind of like a comic
yeah,
biography mixed with sci-fi a little bit. It was kind of
yeah.
it's kind of good. I would actually love to read that. if Emily
Yeah,
came out with
I'd love
the
to.
actual graphic novel or whatever, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to actually read that one. Like, I'm
Yeah,
intrigued enough.
yeah. I actually liked her, Miranda. I thought she was actually an interesting character. Like when it came back to the past, like before the pandemic, I was actually kind of interested in her story, but everyone else, I was like, I don't care.
The the one thing with was it Miranda? Is that her name?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah.
I
So
think
I
pretty sure it is.
I liked I liked her character, but you know how like she's away in wherever she decided to go. Isn't she in Asia somewhere?
Malaysia. Yeah.
Is it Malaysia? Okay. So yeah,
Yep.
so she's in Malaysia, and then we don't really hear anything else. And I'm just sort of here like, well, what happened over there though? Like, is it the same that happened in America, or is it different? Because you essentially see that she's
Yeah.
like there, and the pandemic's happened, and then it just never shows her again. And I'm like, but
The
what happened
last
over
thing that
there?
happens with her is when she's in Malaysia, she starts feeling unwell. And then I think it's kind of implied that she dies, but like
Wow.
she said that she is speaking to staff in the hotel, I think, and they're like running away from her or something like that. So you kind of see that they are afraid, but you don't really see if they're actually infected. Like she clearly is, but I don't know about the rest of the people
Hmm.
there. But yeah, she kind of just dies off page. I was going to say off
I
screen, off page. I
I don't
guess.
even remember her dying. I thought she went back to her hotel room and just boarded it up and was just kind of looking. I don't think she
She
died.
went back to her hotel room, and then she was started talking about how she was feeling unwell, and that's the last time we saw her. So I was like, okay, I assume she died, which is annoying because you
Oh,
see so much of her past. I thought she'd be a bigger like character in the after the pandemic. She just left. I was like, why did we literally read so much of her past for no reason? It's like I don't know, because we
I
saw
think
more of
I think
Arthur's second wife.
I think we only really got her because that girl was so obsessed with those comics, and it was like
Yeah,
her comics. I think that was like the only reason we got her,
yeah,
and it's kind
I
of like,
suppose.
but why couldn't we have just had a bit more of her, like
Yeah,
except for the comics? Like,
exactly.
I just like it was a good book. I just feel like it was missing like something. It just didn't wow me, and
Yeah,
it could have been done some sort of time jumps. The ending could have been better. Like,
yeah.
I want, I kind of want to speak to someone who says it's their favorite book, just to understand why
I'm
they think
me
it's their favorite
too.
book,
Yeah,
because I
definitely.
just never got that.
Yeah. There was just too much going on, too many characters. Like some of the characters were interesting, but some of them I was like, I don't feel anything. Like you know that character, I don't even know how to say his name. It was like Dieter or something. I don't know. The one who
Yeah, I
died.
think I know what
He
you're on
was in
about.
the symphony. Yeah. Him and the other guy got captured
Yeah,
by the prophet and then and then he died. I was like, I don't care. I was like, I don't care. I don't know this person. Like, why is this supposed to be sad? I was like, there's too many characters that I was like, I just don't feel any connection with because we don't know them. And then,
I just
yeah,
like the
there's just
dog.
nothing there.
I don't know why.
Luli was the best character. Luli's
I'm just
definitely
like,
the
there's
best
a
character.
dog. That's all I care
Yeah,
about.
literally.
So, where was the rest of the dogs? I feel like there was basically no dogs anywhere. It seemed there
The
was like three dogs.
prophet had the dog. Yeah, the prophet had his obviously the dog, but
Yeah.
then that's it. Yeah, there was like none. Yeah, there wasn't
Where was
really.
the rest
If
of
I
them?
remember, I don't really remember much. Like, but there wasn't mention of much animals. I think they were eating deer, and from like the people staying in
Yeah.
the airport were like hunting deer. But like besides that, I'm like, where's all the rest of the animals? Are they okay? Are they getting the virus? Like, does it affect animals as well? I don't
Because
know.
I was there expecting if it's going to be like overrun, you'd expect it to be like very animal heavy
Yeah.
and like them
Mm.
coming across animals all the time. And they just weren't coming across
Yeah.
any animals either. And I was like, they're in the middle of the woods. What do you mean they're not finding any animals?
Yeah.
I'm very confused.
Yeah. Did you have a favorite character or
Um,
besides the dog, of
did I
course?
love the dog? I I don't know. I kind of like the Prophet. I'm like a
Really?
sucker for bad.
Okay.
I'm like a sucker for bad guys. Whoever's a bad guy, I'm like, I like them. Um, I think his character development was just kind of interesting,
Yeah.
and I think because it all started with seeing that plane of passengers essentially just get starved to death
Yeah. Oh my
at the
God.
beginning, and then he picked up the Bible, and then he just started taking it a bit too far and being like, "I'm the
Yeah,
savior
that
of
was a bit
everybody."
creepy.
Um,
Yeah.
I thought his character just progression from like where he came from all the way until his death, because we see his death. I think
Yeah.
his character had a really good like arc,
Mm.
and I really like seeing how his developed. So I
Yeah.
probably say the Prophet because I feel like his was the most built on character.
Okay.
But the little girl was quite interesting, and I also really liked the guy who ran the museum
Yeah,
of
I
like
loved
people.
him.
So I'd probably
Yeah,
say the
he was
Prophet and him.
Clark. I like yeah. The Prophet was interesting because it was obviously Elizabeth's son or whatever. I was like, you kind of see him in the beginning and he's just like playing his Nintendo and it's like, oh my God, he seems so innocent.
I was like, I relate. That's all I would be doing too. I'd be like, well, I might as well just play my Nintendo. Got nothing better
We'd
to
be
do.
fine. We'd just read all the books. We'd be fine.
Just lock myself up in a library. Like, sorted.
Yeah, grand. Oh,
What about
yeah, I think
who was
Clark
your
was
favorite?
probably. I think Clark was. I just think he had like the most interesting storyline. Like just the fact that he was like friends with Arthur and everything, and then like him staying in the airport and then like building the little museum. I was like, he's just so cute. Like, I think if I lived in that airport, I'd just be like chatting to him the whole time.
I really like the fact that he kind of brought everything together, but then when he started to do it, everyone else started bringing things to him to be like,
Yeah, like
actually, this is what
iPhones
life
and
is like.
credit cards and stuff. Imagine, like, it's just weird thinking about like being in that situation.
And they were like giving him like stilettos and stuff like that. And they were just like high heels, passports, credit cards. Wasn't there a
Literally
Nintendo in there
anything.
as well? It was just
Yeah,
so lovely kind of seeing all that kind of celebration of humanity. I thought that was
I
quite
know. It was
nice.
actually really sweet. Oh, I'd say if that did
Oh,
happen in real life, that someone would probably build something like that.
mm. They probably would because they'd be like, well, I want to just make sure we kind of understand everything that sort
Yeah,
of happened. I I don't know why, but
yeah.
I didn't really care about the newspaper. You know how we got like the interview bit,
Oh, I forgot all
and it
about
was,
that. I hated them parts. I was like, I don't like we're not learning anything new. I was like, what is the point of these parts? We know all this. Like,
that's what I
I
was
didn't
thinking.
get
I
it.
was like, I don't like this bit. I don't know whether she just
Yeah,
needed to fill some extra pages, but if she needed to
yeah,
fill in some extra words for pages, she could have done it at the end. That's my
exactly.
opinion.
Give us a good epilogue. Like the only thing we were kind of learning is like the tattoos, the two knives where it said she killed two people. But we learned that anyway in a different chapter anyway. So I was like, there was no point to that the whole interview at all. Like
I know.
literally no point, except for that it became a newspaper or something. That's literally it.
It
It
was
didn't
literally like,
add
here's a
anything.
newspaper that we're going to give to other people, and I'm like, all right, I
Okay.
don't, I don't,
How does this affect anybody?
I don't understand why. Like, I don't understand the big
Yeah.
thing with it. Like,
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah, there was no point whatsoever.
I can kind of like think through the book because, like, obviously, I read it about a month ago, so I'm like just trying to remember other things about the book that we've not kind of mentioned because, like, I read it so long ago that my brain's like,
I know, I can't believe you read it ages ago. I'm
I
trying
know.
to remember, like, just there's what's really annoying me is trying to remember what happened to that guy Jeevan or whatever. Like that, I don't know why I can't remember, but
I thought it was kind of interesting. I think he was the one who was on the farm. I think he
maybe he
was because
was.
he was like doing first aid, and he was like, "Well, I'm not a
Oh
doctor."
yeah, yeah. Actually, it's coming back to me now. I think you're right. Yeah,
I think
that is actually what happened. I think you're right.
I think that's him
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, but
That made no
actually it is
sense.
because I remember now. Yeah, because I remember there was some man who said his wife was shot or something by the prophet, and
Yeah.
then he brought her to Stephen. Yeah, okay, now it's coming back to me.
Maybe I'm like, is that guy? I swear it might be that guy. I thought
Yeah,
I
there's
thought it was
just too
kind
many.
of interesting. I thought it was kind of interesting the grave markers. Like if
Yeah,
someone had left without permission, they done like a grave, but they only done it with like the headstone.
yeah.
I thought that
I
was
was so
quite an
confused by that
interesting
at the
thing.
start. Yeah, because I was like, wait, are Charlie and Jeremy's names there? I was like, wait, are they dead? Are they alive? I'm confused.
I kind of liked how the child was like, "No, you have to like help me. Like,
Yeah,
I need away from him. He wants me as like his 150th wife because he
yeah.
just seemed to be
He
wanting
was
everybody at that
creepy.
point.
He was literally so creepy. It
He
was mad
definitely went
how,
into cult mode.
like, what?
He definitely went
What
into
did you say?
cult mode. He
Oh, yeah.
decided to make a cult for sure in that place.
It was crazy how him and his men were so easily able to, like, kidnap people. Like, even the people in the symphony and stuff. They were just so easily able to get them. I was like, how? Like, how? How are they this good? How has no one, like, heard them?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, surely they said that they were quiet and stuff, but if you're
Yeah.
surrounded by leaves and things, surely you would have heard like the crunch under the feet, even if it
Yeah.
wasn't loud. But you would still hear something. Like,
Yeah. I was like, how are they so, like, skilled?
but they were like, oh, we've been practicing it for so long, and I'm like,
I feel like that's a
yeah,
cop
but
out answer.
you'd still be making some noise, even if it
Yeah.
isn't much noise. You still make some form of noise. You're in the middle of the woods. It's not like you're on carpeted
Exactly.
floor where it's like you can
Yeah.
be that super, super quiet and stealthy. But like in
Yeah.
amongst leaves and things, you're bound to hear at least a rustle, like
Yeah.
somewhere. Because it just
True.
seemed there were so many of them and they were all like, yeah, we're fine. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I was
okay,
like, really?
sure.
They're just, oh, I don't know, just ganging up on everyone so easily.
But I thought it was quite weird that he was so badly wanted, all those wives. Like,
Yeah, why? Like, why did he want them? It was creepy. They were children.
I'm like, did he just go place to place and collect people, or did like these people just go, yeah, actually, I like your way of thinking. Let's just go with you,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, well,
what?
how
Because
did
there's
he?
no way he could have done that alone. Like,
No, true. Yeah, why were people following him? Like, how? Yeah, you're right. Like, it didn't really say how he kind of got everyone on his side. Not everyone, but a lot of people. I don't even know how many people were on his side, actually.
no idea. I know that I like the fact that the people in the village were trying to actually help them get away, though. They're like, you need to leave
Yeah,
now before he sees you.
yeah,
Leave
yeah.
because otherwise you're screwed. But they
Hmm.
just, I kind of just felt confused by how he got so many people and so many followers
Yeah, he had
who were
so much
willing to
power.
kidnap people and everything for him. Like,
Yeah, like, why are they so loyal to this random guy?
it's just,
How did he
it was
get this
very
much
odd.
power? I need to know. I need to listen. That's actually some background information we should have gotten. Instead of getting all like, Arthur's wives and all that, we should have gotten background information on like how the prophet like she didn't have to reveal who it was if she didn't want to do that yet, but just
Yeah.
to see how he got where he got to. That would have been interesting. She should have
Because,
done
like,
that.
well, I mean, we see him as a child,
Oh
and
well,
we
yeah,
see him as like a
true.
child
But
when he's like in front of the things, the Bible, and
yeah,
then and then we basically just see him as the priest person, prophet,
exactly.
and
There's no
then
in between.
so it kind of added up to that anyway. So it just should have had like a middle section for him to be like,
Yeah.
because there's a difference between being a Christian or being a Protestant or whatever religion he decided to being a cult
Yeah.
leader. There's a very big difference
Yeah.
there, and
Yeah.
I need to know what happened. Like his mum
Yeah.
was gone as well, so it wasn't even like we could kind of like, did he decide to kill his mum or and steal her dog?
Actually,
Is that the
yeah.
same
Did
dog?
we even see a last chapter with her? I don't remember. The last thing I remember
We,
is them leaving, I
I think
think.
that's the
I
last we
think they
see. Like,
left like the airport. Yeah.
I don't remember seeing
Hmm.
anything after they leave the airport. I think that's the last thing we see with her and him. Is they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, we need to leave.
Yeah.
And then we just see
Yeah, it
him
would
as
have
an
been nice
adult.
even just yeah, it would have been nice just to even have one more chapter, like just in between that time, because I want to know because they were like such big parts, and then suddenly it was like, oh, she's gone, and he's the prophet. Like I want to know how.
I kind of like that the dog was named the exact same thing though. The mum's dog and that dog was named the same thing. There's no chance this dog was that old.
I
Like,
know that has to be a different dog.
so I kind of like the fact they kind of. I think that's what made it click for me so easily, was because we found out the name of the dog, and I was like, well, that's his mum's dog, so
Yeah.
must be the same kid. Like, surely. Add up the dogs. Not all the plot points, just that dog's the same as that dog, must be the same person. Like, the dogs match.
The dog just yeah gave the whole plot away. Oh, we don't really see much of because Miranda and Elizabeth they're obviously in it quite a lot, but then there's like Arthur has like a third wife that is just like who even is she? We don't know anything about her at all. She's just like barely in it. I know her name is Lydia, and that's all I know.
Is Lydia the one that was looking after the girl at the start?
Nope,
It was
that
like
was
the production
Tanya.
assistant.
That was Tanya, and he also had a thing with her. She was probably going to be number 4 if he didn't die.
Then
But
I
like,
can't
yeah, the
remember.
third one, yeah, doesn't she like just mention that like she's the third wife, but like she's not even she doesn't have a storyline. So I was like, what's the point of her at all?
My brain just realized that the prophet is that guy's son.
Yeah.
I like just clicked on that. My brain just went, wait a minute. I remember we had her
Oh my
character,
god.
but it never clicked to me that that's like that guy's son.
Yeah. That's Arthur's son.
Ah, I never clicked on that.
That's so
Like there's
funny.
so many characters. I was like, I don't know what's happening
I
anymore.
know. So many.
Damn, he had quite a wild life, didn't he? He made a
He
cult
really
leader.
did. Mhm.
I don't know whether
Yeah.
that'd be a yeah, because he wanted to go over and see his son again. I wonder if he
Yeah.
would have still been a cult leader if that guy had been able to see his son more.
Oh, yeah. If Arthur survived, actually, yeah, would he still become a cult leader? That's actually really interesting.
So at the
Hmm.
same time, he did have 3 wives. So
Yeah.
maybe he would have still been on like the let's marry everybody path. Oh.
Yeah. He was an interesting character though, like for the little time he was alive. But I liked kind of towards the end when it went back to the day he was gonna die and he was talking about how he wanted to see his son and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, interesting. I wonder what
Wasn't
would
it
have
going to be like
happened.
his last show or something, and then he was going to go and just live with his son regardless of what
Yeah, he was
happened?
gonna move to Jerusalem to be with his son. I was like, oh, and then he died. Fuck's sake.
Life sucks.
Unfortunately.
They did. It wasn't even like we'll give him a chance. It was like I want to go see my son, and they went, "Well, we'll kill him." And I was like,
Yeah.
"All right, that makes
Literally at the
sense."
very start of the book as well. Like I was like, whoa, okay, we're jumping right into it.
I I just feel like there is parts that I really did like. I
Yeah,
just
me
feel
too.
like I feel like it just didn't wow me. I feel like we
Yeah.
needed more particulars on characters to be like, well, this is what character we're following. This is in the
Yeah.
past for this character, and it
Yeah.
would have made it so much easier for me to follow rather
Definitely.
than just continuously changing characters and changing timelines like so often. I just
Mm.
got so confused.
Yeah, because how many characters did we actually have like POVs for? It was like obviously Arthur briefly, then Jeevan, Clark, Kirsten, Miranda. Like that's already 5, and I can't even remember other ones. Like there's just so many.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have at least 5.
Yeah, like that's a lot of point of views. Like that's a
Was it?
lot.
I can't remember if it was that book or a different book I read just beforehand, but there was like 10 points of view that I counted. I don't know
Which
whether it was. I
it
don't know whether it
definitely
was Station 11 though.
I don't think so. I don't think there was 10.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think they've got at least 7.
7. Yeah, you're probably right. Like, that's a lot. I struggle with like 2 or 3 sometimes, depending. But like 7, it's a lot.
Yeah, because it was just getting to the point where I was like, I need less characters. Don't get me wrong, different points of view is like my favorite thing in a book. But when you give me
Okay.
too many and you've not told me at the start of the chapter, okay, so this is Haley, okay, so this is Chris, then
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, wait, what? We feel all like the same person, someone else. What are
Yeah,
we
it gets
doing?
too much. I don't like too many characters. It causes so much confusion. I get them all mixed up.
I'm usually okay if they tell me who's speaking.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't do
And
that at the
they're
start
very
of each chapter.
distinctly different. If they're too much the same, I'm going to be confused. But if they're
Yeah,
very distinctly different, then
yeah,
it's not so bad.
exactly. Yeah, I think she definitely should have put the character at the start of the chapter. Like, it would have been so simple and would have made such a difference.
Yeah. Even if you just put Prophet,
Yeah, that's
um,
all we need.
Harold, whatever, just to be like, okay, so this is who we're following again.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
or if it was the mum, for example, just put in what name she was, so that we kind of
Yeah.
were like, okay. Because that way we don't notice the Prophet
Mm,
until a bit later. But
yeah.
we'd still be following the mum because she was like the main character in that section, or Clark or
Yeah.
whatever. And we'd
Mm,
still see them, but just not in the way that's like adds up straight away.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, the layout could have been easier.
I love the fact they were both kind of like, we don't like how many time jumps and how it didn't tell us who was the character. Like,
Yeah. I'm
we're
just
very-
I'm just laughing at the fact we both gave it 3 stars.
it's
I really
literally
wanted to be more. I really was thinking this book is going to be great. Everyone loves this book. It's going to be a 5-star read. No, unfortunately.
well, at least next month's for me was a 5 star, so that should give
Yes,
you
I'm
a
hoping
4 or
it'll
a
be for
5.
me. I hope it's the same for me.
I'll I'll be very surprised if you don't rate it a 4 or a 5.
Okay.
Like,
Hopefully
but
that's
I think
that.
that's because for me it's a 5, and we're usually about the same.
Yeah,
So if you're
true.
like less, if you're like a 3 or less, I'll be like, wait, what happened here? What's
I hope that's
happened?
not I hope that doesn't happen.
I hope not.
I need a good 5-star read. It's been too long.
When was my last 5 star read? Oh no, I know
When
exactly
was
what my
mine?
last 5 star read was. It was Legendborn.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, I have that on my shelf,
You
so
need to read it.
I'm definitely gonna read it.
I'm so
It'll
excited
happen.
for book 2 coming out because that book
Oh,
was just that book made me like squeal and would be like, I'm so
oh,
happy.
oh!
So,
I saw Neil Schuster. I don't know if you saw his Twitter, but he was unveiling the cover for the next book. I was like, oh my god, it's so pretty. I love it.
have,
I can't wait.
at Yelp, did he read any of it to you?
What?
At Yelp, did he do like a conference or like a meeting panel thing where he read some of the book?
No, I'm
Oh,
surprised he didn't. Did he do
so
it
I
for
thought
you?
in
Oh,
Edinburgh he read essentially 3/4 of one of the stories.
oh wow, that's a lot.
It was so good.
Oh my god, I'm so jealous.
It was about Marie.
Oh my god.
So
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm
I'm
literally
so
just sat here very
excited.
impatiently, like, I want that book. I want that book. I want that
Yeah.
book.
And
I
the
need it now.
cover is so pretty. I was just like, oh my god,
There's
obsessed.
there's a story that's from a dog's perspective in it.
Oh, that's the best thing ever. Oh, I
So
can't
I'm
wait.
hyped. I
That's
need
gonna be
it
good.
so bad.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
I can't really think of much else to say about Station 11. Can you think of anything
No,
really?
me either. I'm definitely going to watch the TV show. I don't even know what streaming service it's on, actually. I need to find
I
out. But
have
I'm
no
definitely going to
idea.
watch the TV show soon and then compare it to the book and see
You'll
how different
you'll
it
need to
is.
let me know how that is. Um,
Yeah.
so our next book is Dragon Rider, and I'm
Yes, I
so
still need to
hyped.
get the book.
So for anyone who's kind of like just kind of listening in, kind of wants to know what this one is, the next live show will be on my channel. This is my choice. I'm very, very, very excited for it.
I can't wait.
It basically just says a dragon, a boy, a journey. Firedrake, a brave young dragon, and a lonely boy named Ben set out on a magical journey to find the legendary place where silver dragons can live in peace forever. Flying across moonlit lands and seas, they discover extraordinary new friends and a courage they never knew they had. Just as well, because a heartless enemy with an ancient grudge is never far behind them.
Oh, this is gonna be good. I can't wait.
And you know how some books have like this book in 3 words? So on this one it says friendship, adventure, and dragons. So
that's all I need to know. I love that. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
I read this one before and it was a 5 stars for me. I'm very, very excited to get back into this because I want to pick up book 2, which I already own, and I don't have book 3 yet. So I'm definitely looking forward to actually getting back into the series and actually reading the trilogy. So so hyped. It's going to be so good.
So excited. Oh, I'm definitely going to start that soon.
I feel
How
like
long is it actually?
I
think I'm going to love it.
It'll depend on different editions.
Oh, yeah.
But my edition is 423 pages.
Okay. Not too bad.
But it is a middle grade, so
yeah, so it's easy.
I'll be fine through it. And then there's like pictures like that in mine.
Oh,
so
nice.
There is definitely pictures which make it a bit less.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice.
I'm so excited to reread this.
I'm so excited.
Like, I think last time I read it was like 2 or 3 years ago, so it's good for me to get back in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very, very, very excited for this one.
Yeah, and we will put up obviously the date for the live show when we have a date.
Probably the first weekend or around that time of September, because that's when we tend to do it.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But I can't really think of much else to say.
No,
we kind of went over the next book as well.
I think we pretty much covered everything.
What the next book is. So
yeah. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.
Bye.